Welcome students to the course of Programming Fundamentals with Python. We are in week number 8 and in the theory class we have studied about a break statement and the continue statement, and in the theory I told you that we use these statements normally inside the loops. You can use them inside the for loop, you can use them inside the while loop, but for practice we will be using them inside the for loop. So here is our first program for this week. Actually, we have a total of 4 programs for this week on which we will be practicing. So this is our first program. Let me save it. Okay. In the program, the first 4 lines are actually comments. They describe the program. For example, we are in week number 8 and we are studying the break statement. And in this week, this is program number 1. So our actual program started from here at line number 5. Okay, first we want to display a statement, a string on the screen, so that to make our program more readable or to guide the user what they need to do when they run the program. So here is a statement. How many times you want to print the statement? And then soon in the second line, we are actually using the input function, which is a built-in function, to accept a value from the user. So with the help of this statement, which is going to be displayed in the second line when you run this program, enter a number to check for. Once the user sees the statement, he or she will enter a number from the keyboard. We expect that the user have to enter an integer type data, so for that I have used the int keyword here. The value provided by the user will be assigned to this variable num, which in this case is a variable, and we assign the value with the help of this assignment operator. And you all are familiar with this operator as we are using them throughout our course. Suppose the user has entered the value 3 from the keyboard. Now what will happen? On the next line we have the for loop, and you are familiar with the syntax. Inside the for loop, the first thing we need to do is to write the keyword, which is for, and then the loop variable, which is normally represented by a single letter, in this case I, which is a loop variable, and then in again is a keyword, and range is a function which we use to provide initial and final value for the execution of the loop. So here the initial value of I is 0 and the final value is 6. So this loop will be executed 6 times, or the number of iteration is 6, starting from 0, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember, 6 is not included. So the initial value of I is 0. Now coming toward the next statement, that is the second part of the for loop, which is called the body of the for loop. We actually have 3 statements: if statement, break statement, and print statement. Inside the if statement, we are going to check a condition, and the condition is simple: check or compare the value of I, which is 0, with the value of num, which is provided by the user. So suppose we have input 3 from here, then 0 will be compared with 3. Now check the condition. 0 is equal to 3? No, the condition is false. Once the condition is false, this break statement will not be executed. This will execute only if this condition is true, because it is part of the if statement. It is inside the if block. But the next statement will be executed because it is part of the for loop. So this will be displayed on the screen. I want to print it, which is a string constant, but inside the string constant we have a variable num, and we are interested in the value stored in this num. So the current value stored in num is 3. That is the value provided by the user. So this statement will be executed one time. I write 1 in the comments here. As we are dealing with the loop, you have to go back and check the value of I again. So here the value of I will be incremented by 1. The previous value was 0, the new value is 1 now. Check the condition. 1 is less than 6. Yes, condition is true. Okay, go to the next statement. In the next statement, we have to compare the current value of I, that is 1, with 3. 1 is equal to 3? No, condition is false. So this statement again will not be executed, but this statement will be executed. So this line will be printed for the second time. We are dealing with a loop. Go back to the first statement of the for loop. Increment the value of I by 1. Check the condition. 2 is less than 6. Yes, condition is true. The final value doesn't reach yet. So we have to execute this statement. Now compare the current value, that is 2, with the norm, that is 3. The condition is again false. So this statement will not be executed. But this statement will be printed for the third time. Again go back, increment the value of I by 1. Now the value of I is 3. Check the condition. 3 is less than 6. Yes, condition is true. Okay, move forward. Now compare 3 with 3. 3 is equal to 3. Yes, now the condition becomes true. Once the condition becomes true, this statement will now execute it. And this is the break statement. Remember the theory? The break statement is used to terminate the current, to terminate the flow, or to terminate the loop, or to go outside the loop. If we remove this condition, this loop will be executed 6 times. But we want this loop to stop after the third iteration with the help of the break statement. So the loop will stop here, and this statement now will not be executed. So this statement will be executed only if this break condition doesn't meet. Once the break condition meet, this statement will not be executed. So once you run this program, it will ask you for a value. The value that we considered was 3. So let me enter 3 here. You see, the statement has been executed only 3 times. So this is how we can terminate the normal flow of a loop with the help of a break statement. Let us consider a second example on the same topic, the break statement. Okay guys, again, the first 4 lines are comments. Our actual program started from here. For again is a keyword. Here the variable, the name of the variable is val. You can change it. Let us make it simple and keep it I. So the name of this variable is I now. Okay. Here we do not use the range function because we are dealing with a string. So we have to take this string character by character and assign it to the variable I. So the initial value of I will be the first character of the string, that is S. Here it is actually part of the body of the loop, but here we are checking a condition, and the condition is like this. The current value of I, which is S, take it, compare it with the letter I. Is it true? No, the condition is false. So once the condition is false, this statement will not be executed. Okay, means the loop will not terminate. This will print the value of I. So what is the value of I? Actually the value of I, you can see from here, is S. So it will display S on the screen. Okay, we are dealing with loop. Go back, consider the value of I again. This time it will refer to the next character in the string, that is T. Sorry. Okay, now compare the current value of I, that is T, with the I. Is it true? T is equal to I? No, the condition is false again. So this statement will not be executed, and the current value of I will be printed on the screen. So the current value of I, you can see from here, is T. As we are dealing with the loop, go back, increment the value of I. Now it will refer to the next string, that is R. In the next line, compare it with I. R is equal to I. No, condition is false. This will not be executed. It will print the current value of I, that is I. Okay, go back again. Now it will refer to the next string, that is I. So the current value of I, which is I, is equal to I. Now the condition becomes true. Once the condition becomes true, this statement will be executed. What is this statement? What does it say? Break here. Once this condition meet, do not go further, do not execute, do not repeat the loop. Stop at this current iteration and do not go forward. do not move forward. So we will come to the next statement, which is followed by the for loop. Hence we do not have any statement which is followed by the for loop. Then the loop will terminate here. Once you run this program, it will display the first sorry, this is R, not I, the first three characters, that is str, and it will stop once this condition meet, that is I become equal to I. Okay, so this was about the break statement, which is commonly used to terminate the loop immediately. On the other side, we have a second statement which is known as continue statement, and this is normally used with the for loop. Okay, again, first three lines are comments. Here we have a variable with the name num. This is like the same thing we did in the previous program when we were talking about the break statement. Okay, so here I want the user to input a number, but the number must be between 0 and 9. And then I am storing the number in the variable num. Here I'm using the for loop. The keyword is for, variable is I, in is again keyword. This time I'm using range. And the initial value is 0 while the final value is 10. So let us give a dry run to this program. Suppose the user has provided 2 to this program in the input. Now what will happen here? The current value of I is 0. I'm making use of comment just to explain how the program will work or how the flow actually occurs. So the current value of I is 0. Check the condition, 0 is less than 10. Yes, condition is true. Okay, move forward to the body of the for loop. Here we have a condition. The current value of I is 0. Compare it with the num. The value of num being provided by the user is 2. You can provide any value in the range of 0 to 9. Check this condition. 0 is equal to 2. Is it true? No, the condition is false. So once the condition is false, it means that we will not execute this statement. So this statement will not be executed because the condition is false. But this statement will be executed because this is not part of the if statement. It is part of the for loop. So this will be executed. What is going to be the output here? It will display the string the value of I is, but we are using a variable as and string in the same line, so we have to use the f, which stands for format, and here it will display the actual value of I, which is in this case the current value or the initial value of I is 0. Okay, so we are dealing with loop. Go back, increment the value of I. So now the value of I is 1. Check the condition, I is less than 10, 1 is less than 10. Yes, condition is true. Go forward. Now the current value of I is 1. Compare 1 with 2. 1 is equal to 2. No, the condition is false. So this statement again will not be executed. But this statement will be executed for the second time. Okay, go back. Increment the value. Now the current value of I is 2. Or the latest value of I is 2. Or the updated value of I is 2. Compare the value of I, which is 2, with 2. 2 is equal to 2. Yes, condition now become true. Once the condition become true, as you know, it is if statement, so we have to execute this. Now what will happen when this continue statement is executed? As we know from the theory, once the continue statement is appear in the loop statement and the condition become true, then that iteration will be skipped, which means this statement will not be executed for the value of 2, or the current iteration, that is 2, will not happen. But we will not leave the loop as we did in the break statement. We have to go back and continue execution of the loop for the rest of the values. Okay, so now the value of the variable will become 3. Compare it. 3 is equal to 2. No, again the condition is false, so this statement now will not be executed. Go forward and display the current value, which is 3 now, and so on up to 9. Once you run this program, you will see the value that I provided was 2. You will see that the loop will iterate, the iteration will occur for the 0, for the 1, but not for the 2. And then it will continue for the rest of the values, 3 onward, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, up to 9. So with the help of continue statement, we actually ignore the current iteration of the loop, but continue our execution of the loop for the next iteration. And finally, we have the last program, which is also about the continue statement, but this time we are dealing with a string value. And this is the same program that we consider with the break statement, but now here we are using continue instead of break. So what will happen? The concept is the same. First, take a variable val, and the current value of val will be s. Compare s with I. S is equal to I? No. Condition is false, so this statement will not be executed, and it will print s on the screen. Go back. Now the value of val will be t, the next character in the string, that is t. Compare t with I. Is it equal to I? No. Condition is false, so the statement will not be executed. It will display t on the screen now. Go back. Consider the next character, that is r. Compare r with I. R equal to I? No. Condition is false, so this statement will not be executed, and it will display r on the screen. Loop. Go back. Take the next character, that is I. Compare I with I. I is equal to I. Yes, now the condition is true. Once the condition is true, the statement will be executed. So continue mean ignore the current iteration, and the current iteration is to print I. So I will not be displayed, but you have to go back to the loop condition. And now you have to take the next character, that is n. So n is equal to I? No. Condition is false, this statement will not be executed, and n will be displayed on the screen. And similarly, g will be displayed. So the output of this program is going to be like this. So we have ignored one iteration, and that is I. So the I will be ignored while the rest of the string will be there. So this was about how you can use the continue statement and the break statement inside your loops. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you do not have subscribed to the channel yet, please do subscribe and keep yourself updated with the coming lecture. Thank you so much. Goodbye.